Hello, everyone. It's been a minute since we've done a live stream. Monique here of Silver Paw Studio, sitting in my studio in lovely Colorado. And this is Pro Pet Photog. And we're doing a Q&A today. That's right, Q&A, AMA, any questions you have about pet photography or photography in general, the business or the craft or volunteering. Any of those things are game today. Before we get started, I just want to go over a couple of things. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I feel like my microphone's really far away over here, but it's probably fine. First off, there is all kinds of resources on Pro Pet Photog. I have a bunch of free, checklists and even courses, all kinds of things. So if you're looking for a few things that are no cost, head on over to propetphotog.com. But also at the top of that page, there's the community center. I encourage you, if you're ready to join the community center, if you're ready to go pro, if you're thinking about going pro, if you want to know the business side of pet photography, that is the community for you. It's very affordable. So check that out. Another resource that's great is our Facebook group, and it's right here, bit.ly/ProPetPhotog Facebook. And of course the page. So do all that. If you want to know advance notice of when these kind of live streams or any of the videos, what's going to happen, get on the little newsletter. I send it out every Friday morning as a reminder of what's on the show today, whatever's on YouTube today, and some of the behind the scenes. And of course, we have Instagram and podcasts and all that kind of fun stuff. So and here's a direct link to me. So before we jump in, I thought it would be good to get some of that housekeeping done. Okay, Lisa says, I can hear you. Yay. All right, super duper. Leo also says, sounds okay. Super. Thank you, Leo. And Tina, good afternoon. I can hear you. Oh my goodness. Yes. East Coast is right at lunchtime. Fantastic. Today, I don't really have, let me move that banner off. I don't have like a set thing I want to talk about, but it's been a really long time since we've done one of these live streams, and just kind of catch up with you. I can't even remember how long ago, honestly. Oh, Heather is also, hello, hi. Yeah, so let's see, it's fall. The colors are really starting to pop now here in Colorado. And I was just in the Northwest yesterday up in Oregon, and also fall colors right about on time there. So this is a great time of year to get out there for those family and pet portraits out in the beautiful colors and the cooler weather. I'm liking that. It's hard to do dog photos when it's hot out, right? So then you're up at 7 in the morning to get those photos. So fall is awesome. I hope your fall is going well. I'm trying an experiment, I guess. I have hired someone to create some Facebook ads for me. And so we've got a few sets going, and that's been a learning experience, but it's also been great to just hire someone to do that for me, especially when I have a couple of trips to go on. So that is in the works to beef up my fall schedule. In the community center, oh my gosh, if you're not part of the community center, it's so great. That's the membership group on Pro Pet Photog that I just talked about. We are in the last quarter of the year, and this is the quarter we're talking about the craft of photography, because that is kind of when we get more opportunities to photograph typically. So last month, we talked about the kind of go-to poses and the ones that sell the most in my studio. So had a lot of slides in there of examples of all the different types of posing and things to do when you're out at that session, almost like a cheat sheet of what if your mind goes blank when you're at a session. So that was awesome. And this next week, I don't think I put it in the newsletter, everyone, so sorry, but there's a few people in here that are in the group. This next week, we're going to talk about lighting. So I'm going to take some pictures and put some things together for lighting. Yay. Yes, Lisa's in the group. She's awesome. Tina's in the group. It is an amazing small group. Lots of time to answer your questions in a private setting in there, which is great. And Lisa was able to come to the workshop here that we had in August. oh my gosh, I had a ton of fun. We had some models in, we talked about business, we did some actual photos in the studio and out and about. So great. Lots of perks. I'm going to continue that next year. We'll have the free workshop for members here in Colorado next summer again, because I just loved it. I realized how much I love teaching workshops. So yeah, you're in. And let's see. So lighting, I'm going to talk about lighting in the membership, but I'm going to do a really basic like video for YouTube also, because I get that question a lot. And I realized, gosh, I haven't gone over lighting in a kind of a long time here on YouTube. So it's time to do a very basics video here, but we're going to dive deeper in the group. Oh yeah, Lisa was here for the workshop. It was a blast. Thank you. I think we had a lot of fun. I'm going to put together something. I had my sister here filming and taking pictures of all the behind the scenes. And then Lisa and Noelle were nice enough to go on camera and talk about their experience. So that was really awesome. It was really special to have people come here to Colorado. And we got to go up into the mountains and see elk and just all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. So I don't want this to be a big, long commercial for the community center, but I think it's really, really wonderful. The people in there, what we cover. I'm getting ready to lay out all of the classes for next year. How that works is we have 2 times we meet a month on Zoom. The second Tuesday of the month in the evening is a class that I teach, and the fourth Tuesday is Q&A. So we talk about that class or anything else that's happening in our business that we'd like to go over. And it's a really great time to brainstorm with everybody and get some real insights from people who've been doing it. I've been doing this for 9 years. And then yeah. So anyway, I can go on, but I really want this to be a Q&A for all of you. So if you have any questions for me, I know like Leo, I don't think you've popped in here before. If you have questions about photography, pet photography, studio stuff, I just did a video about the different hacks that I've done here in the studio. And that was kind of eye-opening. I didn't realize how many things I had really done. Yeah. Oh yeah, Tina says, "Oh, peak color, yeah, nice." All right, we're kind of all on the same lines there. I will be filming a complete tour of the studio. Like you see that side a lot, but you almost never see this side of the studio. It's like a big mystery. I can't show you right now. I can't turn my camera around right here. But there's a lot of very specific reasons that I've set up my studio the way I have. And that's going to be a little bit more high production type video. So that probably won't be a couple weeks. Next week, I am driving to New Mexico to watch the annular eclipse. So I'm taking 5 days to drive down there. It's like a 9-hour drive. See the eclipse with Steve's kids and their friends, and then drive back up. And maybe stop and see the colors in the Rockies in the southern part of the state. So that'd be fun. Hey, Robert from the UK. Oh, it's evening there, right? Oh, good. So I picked a good time for you. Normally, my YouTube videos come out at 7 a.m. Mountain Time, but I have to get to the studio. I had a client meeting, and then I thought, well, let's just do 10. Let's throw something fun in there. Yes. Yeah, that'll be lots of fun. I went to the full solar eclipse 2018, I think that was ish, up in Wyoming with Steve and his kids. Oh my gosh, what a blast. And we'll go next year too. Yeah. What is your next project? Like for YouTube or for my studio? The big next project for me is my open house. So I just finished doing my second book project, and that was all about pit bulls here in Colorado and a couple that I filmed in Washington State. And that book is at the printer. So I should get that in probably the next week or so. I can't hardly wait. And then what I've decided to do is do the book launch party in conjunction with the open house. Even though I've been in this space for about 6 months now, I haven't truly done a open house. And I'm hoping that day in November won't be too like cold or windy that because it's not a huge space here. There's a little covered area just outside. And I'm really hoping we can use that. So that's kind of the next things coming up for me. Have I tried the powder paint? Nope, because I don't want dogs to inhale that paint. I don't agree with those sessions. So I won't do them. I don't feel like they're safe. One thing I have just thought of, Robert, that I haven't done yet, and my camera club has tried this, is to photograph the powder separate. So don't actually put it on the dog. Just have a day where no one's here. Either that or like smoke. You know how you can make different colored smoke, or even silk. So photograph a lot of that and then Photoshop it over the top of the dog. So have the dog do the action photos that, you know, we associate with that, but Photoshop that. And what my camera club actually did is I think it was it might have been in a tank of water. And I've done this kind of photography before, where you get a fish tank, you put clean water in it, and then you can kind of drop in food coloring, and it makes these really cool swirls. And so I thought about photographing that and then taking out the backdrop and making that. And some people in Camera Club did that for the dress of a dancer. So we photographed some dancers, and then they photoshopped the water color onto them as their dress. It was amazing. And there's a lot more creativity you could do without having the dog in any kind of harmful situation. So there's that. What do you like to photograph most in winter? Oh my gosh, I would love to do a snowy session. And actually, the person I met with today, we're going to photograph her family almost at the end of November. So it might be snowy then, but I don't tend to get a lot of people. So that's, you know, the studio is really nice for the winter time. But I have my whole other brand, Cattail Chronicles. So we actually go out in the snow for wildlife and nature photography quite a bit. So that channel, we also do a video every single week on wildlife and nature photography, Rocky Mountain National Park, and our big old Sony cameras and lenses. So I do a lot of that over the winter, and a lot of studio work, honestly. Yeah. And I'm trying to get out there more with like the headshot type of photography. So that kind of takes up the winter. And then I plan for what I'm going to do the next year. Robert, silk is a fun one. Got one shoot in 2 weeks on a beach. Ooh, okay. So wouldn't that be cool? Because I don't know about your beach, but ours is always windy. Although I was there the other day. I was on the Oregon coast 2 days ago, and it wasn't really that windy. It was shocking. But a lot of times you get that wind, right? So you get that really pretty flow of the silk. Ugh. Now on a human, you know, a piece of silk is fine. On a dog, they can get tangled and stuff, depending on the dog. But it would be cool to just kind of have the silk maybe on a stick or something and photograph that a bunch of times in the wind in the same lighting or the same conditions. And you can even do it at the same time. You know, take pictures of the dog and take pictures of the silk and put them together later, or even have someone stand behind them with the silk on a stick or something. There's a lot of different ways you can go about that where the dog is still super safe. So I'd be curious to hear kind of what you have planned, Robert, and what turns out. That sounds really, really awesome. I've watched a photographer, I think they are in Texas, and they've been doing a couple where it's almost like a cape. So they're almost like superhero dogs. And that looks pretty fun too, like a smaller scale. There's a photographer online that does a lot of like models, women's portraiture, and she's done that where she takes really long pieces of silk that would be very difficult to do with the model, and she photographs that separately and adds it in. I find a nice open cove, and with silk, you need 2 people. Yeah, okay. As you have the person throwing the silk into the air. Okay, that's kind of what I picture. Okay, okay. Have you ever tried it where you had it on maybe a stick or a frame or something, where it's almost like a kite, you know, where you're like throwing it, not throwing it, like holding it like a kite, and it's just kind of waving? You probably don't get the point you want though. So I think, yeah, man, that would be kind of fun. You get all kinds of frames to try to use. And you can experiment a lot more, right? When your model's not standing right there. With, a dancer? Yeah. There it is. Same as you would with a dancer. Yeah. Where is my dear husband today? He is working. He's working. He doesn't come to the studio with me. Yep. Hopefully we'll get a chance to go up into the mountains this weekend. If you watch my Cattail Chronicles page, since I was gone last weekend, he didn't go to the beach with me. We got to go do something, right? And it's still elk rut right now, and still fall colors up in Rocky. We've gone up to see elk rut 3 times already, though. So I don't know. It gets a little chaotic with all the people there this time of year. Just like a lot of people in traffic, and it's hard to get those timed entry tickets. Let's see. So what do you all have going on right now? Do you have sessions? I love the beach one that Robert's planning. Leo, do you have a session coming up? What all do you have in the works? Tina, I know that you were working on your kind of open house splash. I'm excited to hear how that's going when we meet on Tuesday, but I'm happy to have you type in here and we'll share with everybody how that's coming along. Let's see. I'm looking to make sure I haven't missed any questions on here. It's so great to see everyone. It's been so long since I've done a live stream. I love these. Tina, oh, you're painting it right now? How exciting. That is so cool. It's going to be such a transformation, right? Paint just, it's like frosting. Yay. That's exciting. It's going to look totally different, don't you think? Yeah. Oh, let's see. How many? Glad I finally got to catch a live, even if I'm late to get in. You're not that late. You love these chats. Sharing the ideas is awesome. Oh, thank you. You actually lend your cameras and lenses to your husband. Oh, no, he has his own set. Are you kidding? So we tried for a while. We have the 200 to 600, kind of the wildlife lens, if you will. And he had it. But then I always wanted to like take it from him. And so we ended up getting 2, which is, I know it's extra, but whatever. So we both have our own set. So I have the camera that I love. I have the Sony A1. He has a Sony A7R4. We also have the A9 II, but we don't use it as much. And then a variety of lenses, like all lenses, different lenses, but we tend to use the 200 to 600 quite a bit. So we each have one. And if it's bright enough, we use a teleconverter to get a little bit more reach. And I really wish I'd had the long lens when I went to the beach the other day, but that wasn't the point of my trip. Photography wasn't part of this trip, but I brought my 70 to 200, and then we happened upon whales like all day long. Oh my gosh. And my sister was like, don't you wish you had your long lens now? I'm like, whatever. All right, Lisa, working on building a commercial portfolio. Very cool. And I think I may have seen something on social of you working on that. Are you talking about product photography or like facilities, photographing people's places that they work, headshots, or just all of the above? What kind of commercial are you're looking for? That's awesome. It's a great addition. Ooh, you have the first coat on, such a difference already. Yeah. Oh my gosh, right? Don't you wish it was a G Master? I don't know, Leo, if you've seen any of our Cattail Chronicles videos, but we have a lot about that lens, a lot about that particular lens because we love it. And, one of my cheeky videos was, I wish we can have a G Master and have it be the same price or less. And everyone took it way too seriously, whatever. Oh my gosh. Let me see if I can find a banner. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, this is Cattail Chronicles. If you search for that on YouTube, if you like wildlife and nature photography and 2 goofy people up in the mountains all the time, it's my husband and I's YouTube channel. Leo, if you know of another channel that's a husband and wife doing wildlife and nature photography, landscape stuff, let me know. As far as I know, we're the only ones I've really found consistently posting. So we have a blast. It gets us out of the house every week, which was kind of our intention. We wanted to get out more and have fun and just show people our adventures and share what we've learned about our equipment and everything. So it's been a blast. So maybe you watch that channel too. Yeah. All right. Lisa, you're probably working on your answer. What else do I have to share with y'all? I don't know when I'll do a live stream again, honestly, because I'm doing so much in the community center. So kind of do most of it over in there. But I like to quarterly get on here and answer any questions. And also, since I was at the beach for kind of a family event, I just ran out of time to film. So there's that too. Oh, you were asking about projects too, Leo. One thing I'm doing tomorrow is I've been in my camera club since pretty much the minute I moved here, 11 years ago. And one of the very first events they did was an event called, I don't remember what it was called then, but Neighbor to Neighbor now, where there's a church group and another community organization that my camera club teams up with once a year, and they schedule families to come in for portraits for free. And so everybody in camera club comes to the one location. It's usually like an office or a church or somewhere that we can kind of clear out and make 6 to 10 photo booth sessions like this. And then they schedule all these families to come in, and we take everybody's pictures, and they can go through as many stations as they want. They usually tell them 2 to 3 if they can do it, because sometimes little kids can't do it that long. And then we get all those pictures, and then we pull them all together, and the camera club comes back together, and we all decide the ones that we want to print. And so each family gets a set of like an 8x10 and 5x7s, and then they get everything else digitally. So I really, really love volunteering for that. I think, the only pro portrait photographer in that group. So I've taught class quite a few times on how to, work with the people of all ages. Teenagers are different to work with than babies, and the equipment's different, and posing everybody. And, so it's a great time to really get in there and teach other photographers ways to photograph the families and then give back. So the last few years, I haven't been able to do it, obviously, for obvious reasons. They haven't done it. But tomorrow we're going to. And actually today, in like an hour and a half, I invited one family who can't make it tomorrow. I just invited them to the studio. I said, just bring your family here and we'll do your session here. So I'll be doing that here in a little bit. Really, really love that. It's intense. Like, it's 4 hours of nonstop photo shoots and little kids and just all kinds of things. I used to bring my wagon, but I recently retired my little red and brown, my little wooden sided wagon. I retired it and gave it to a family I photographed. I just needed a folding wagon instead. So I think I'm going to bring this chair and probably one of my benches to that. So they always get a kick out of, what is Monique going to bring this year as a prop? The kids love the wagon, but I don't have it anymore. Okay, Lisa. Oh, Leo. Yes, I definitely watch Tony and Chelsea as well. They don't really go out and about so much. So it's kind of more of a, like, kind of a podcast now. But yeah, I really like them. Chelsea's a hoot. Okay. So Lisa says, so far the portfolio sessions are for a local company who manufactures GPS collars, and then a massage therapist, and dog treats and toys. Fantastic. Upcoming dry event cleaning company for pet owners. Ooh, that's specific. Doggy daycare and headshots with and without pets. Fantastic. Yeah. That's nice variety. Wow. So those are your portfolio kind of model call type sessions. So you could build it up. That's fantastic. And you live in a little bit bigger city. So you have, I'm thinking doggy daycares and walkers and groomers alone, and dog trainers. We have so many great dog trainers. I've gotten some good work from dog trainers, video work and photography work, and veterinarians. So it's just a nice change of pace. It's very different. If anyone's out there thinking they want to do commercial photography, Lisa, you can probably attest to this. It takes up at this point kind of a smaller percentage of what I do, but I'd love to do more of it. It's just a whole different thing. So instead of, doing a session and then you have a sales meeting and then you're doing wall art, and you have these heartfelt photos for the wall, you're still doing high quality photos, but it's for a business. So it's, you have a, strategy meeting, and you have a shot list, and you have a goal in mind for these photos, and high technical ability. And then, like, when it comes to billing, they bill at a different way than your regular portrait photography. So it's all very different, but I really I really like it. And I can see, Lisa, you doing really well with these, especially having your studio space. If you can just bring in the products and set it up exactly how you want, fantastic. And the local people really need that. They can't always afford the really high level commercial stuff, but a few $100s here and there is pretty nice. And then you get your name out there. And so I have one company, she actually messaged me while I was gone, and I'm going to do another photo session for her and her dogs. This is probably the fourth headshot session I've done for her over the years at her farm. So I'm pretty much her photographer now. And once you get in with the commercial clients, they don't look for anyone else. If you do a good job and you do communication well and price is kind of in line, that can be negotiated a little. They're not going to call anyone. It's too much of a hassle to find somebody else. So it's really a great way to get in with those. Lisa says, I need a video light, I think, to set up in offices and get better lighting instead of the OCF that seems disruptive. Any recommendations? Oh, well, I really like my video light, the Godox UL150. And I can type that in here too. Set my coffee down. Well, let's see. And it was pretty reasonable, I think. And it would be fine for single one picture, one portrait, one person, and product photography. Absolutely. Oh no, Leo. Okay, bye. Hi to your wife. Let me see. I'm going to go look here. Godox UL150 at B&H. And this is a little bit older now. Oh, it's no longer available. No. There's a number 2 now. Godox UL152. It's $550. Oh, that's also temporary out of stock. Here's one that's $500. Okay. But I really like, hold on, I'm going to pop back over to you. Where's that tab? Where did I leave you? This particular one I just found on B&H with a very quick search is $500. And what I can tell you about that, okay, reasonably, it was good. So with this particular light, it's completely silent. So if you do decide to do video for your clients, you can use this light for video work. You wouldn't believe how noisy a fan on a light can be. Even the really quiet fans, there's a huge difference between very quiet and complete silence. Unless you can put the light far away, which usually you can't, like too far, then you're always going to hear the fan. And it's very annoying. So, the more you get into this commercial, the more they're going to ask you for video. So certain things like social media, you don't often need it for that. Like if you're just doing a little reel or something for them. But if you ever get into something where you're doing like just a 3-minute introduction to their company, then you'll have the lav mic and the whole thing. You don't want something with noise. Now, this is not wireless, but you can get a V-mount battery. I mean, not wireless, but it plugs in. It doesn't have battery mount, but you can get a V-mount battery, which costs another couple $100, unfortunately. But if you have access to a plug-in, then it'll be fine. So you can I have that huge modifier I use on this particular light, and I've lit my own dog. I did a whole video on it, photographing Emmy and the dog. And yeah, I've used it for product stuff, video, yeah, all kinds of things. Otherwise, you can get just like a little LED panel. If you really just want it for smaller products and not really for the people, then the little LED panels are just fine. So I have a really old cheap one that was like $70 on Amazon. Really, really cheap. So this one, I'm not really looking at the specs on these too much on these panels, just so you know, Lisa. But this one, I just looked up. It's just $99, just your basic panel with the barn doors on it. And that could work for just product photography. You can put diffusion on it, and you can use it for the fill side. So if you got the Godox UL 150 for your main, and you got this one for a fill, you're set, even for portraits, especially if they're not moving very much. Now, I think you just got a new camera, so I'm sure you can pump your ISO and have grain wouldn't be a problem. So that's another thing too. If you're doing the portraits and if they're mostly web use, then you can get away with a little bit more grain. So having that continuous light, you might just have to have a little bit higher ISO if there's any movement, like if they have their dog with them. But it's fantastic for video. And I think that's pretty reasonable. And honestly, I mean, if you can wait till Black Friday, I'm sure it will go on sale. I'm sure of it. Yeah, and I've done a couple videos on this channel with it. Let me go to my page and it's been a while though since I've done a video on this. Where's a playlist? I think I have a lighting playlist. Okay, dokie. Okie dokie. Well, yeah. Stop. I don't want that. Oh yeah, I've done a few different videos. It's not on the playlist though. Sorry. But I think if you just go to my page and search for Godox UL 150, it was probably earlier this year or last year. Oh, now I'm obsessed. I have to find it. Well, here's one. If you searched for, oh yeah, fluorescent lighting, boo. Nobody likes that. Easy posing and lighting tutorial and I think this is a longer like title than I captured. But it also has that, it shows that light because my dog hates flashes. And so we had to do something that didn't flash for her. Let me see if I have another one. Oh, okay. This one is exactly what we're talking about. Stop. Ah. Okay. I think I had just two versions of this video, or a longer one and a shorter one. One was more about posing, but this one, portraits with one continuous light. There you go. Uh-oh, sorry. Still going. Ah, okay. Stop, YouTube. Stop. Yeah, that fluorescent lighting's ew. Yucky. Yeah. Well, I'm excited for you, Lisa. That's fantastic. Okay. Sorry, I'm looking through the comments, see if I've missed anyone. Okay. So what other questions do you have for me? We're at 10:30. So this is usually an hour-long live stream Q&A. So I would love to chit chat, answer any other questions you have for me. How is everything going? I've been doing a lot more with Instagram Reels. I'm doing my experiments on my Facebook ads between photos and video. And so far he has said that my video is doing better. So he's tracking everything for me. So I'm going to film some vertical videos, kind of introduction for that. So I've got some videos to shoot for that, but I've been putting a lot more effort into Reels, and I think it's gaining traction. I don't never have like a direct ROI on those kind of things. So social media just organically just kind of keeps you top of mind, and it's like a pull over to the website. And I'm also revamping my website just a little. I'm not completely redoing it, but I'm changing a couple of things, and I've had my web person install the Pixel, the Facebook tracking pixel onto, it's like a little piece of code that you put in the back end of your website, so that if people come to the website, then they come back over to Facebook, they'll see when my ads. So I have level 1 ad, which is just traffic and kind of like top of mind. And then we'll have a level 2 ad that's kind of like, oh, those people saw this ad. Maybe they're ready to hire me. And so the next one will be a little bit more specific. So I'm working on all of that kind of stuff. Ever consider doing a critique hints on editing of other people's images, maybe on your Facebook page? People could post images and we can all converse about what we might do different. I have kind of thought about that because the class in, let's see, today's October, the November class will be for the community center will be about editing. And so I thought about doing that for one of those classes, but also it would be kind of fun. I know like Leo had mentioned Tony and Chelsea, and Tony and Chelsea used to have a live stream every Thursday, and it was all kind of, hey, submit your photos under this kind of a topic. Maybe they were talking about water or the color blue. And what happened was people would submit their photos, but then they were very sad if Tony and Chelsea said anything kind of critical of their images. So I don't want to upset people by doing that. So I mean, it's one of those where people would have to be prepared that, yes, I'm going to suggest something. So I don't know if I'm kind of relaying that well, but, and everyone has a different style of editing, you know? So I think that would be the fun part of it. Like edit this to make it look, old school, or edit it to really show the connection. There's maybe with a prompt of how they want to edit it. That could be especially fun for some of us with home studios or just working under less than ideal situations. People might have ideas of how to deal with those issues. Oh, all right. So give me an example of less than ideal situation, like lighting, stuff in the background, what kind of things? People should be nice in their critiques, but if one is asking, they need to be mature enough to deal with the answer. I know, but we, as artists, we kind of hold our art precious a lot of times. So it can be hard. That's one of the reasons I've been in Camera Club for years and years and years, 20 plus years. How old is Amber? Yeah, at least 20 years. And that's been so helpful because they'll see something I didn't see. Something red in the corner, something distracting there, or that bright spot's too bright. There's all kinds of great things that can come out of a critique if you're ready for it. So I'm going to give that some thought because that might be a good idea. Are you on my email list? Because that's where I would talk about that first when I decide what I want to do. So just make sure that if you want to be part of something like that, and that might be kind of fun as a YouTube video if if you want to do it. So maybe I'll put that out in this newsletter and just have people send me photos and then I can edit them for a YouTube video in November. I think that would be cool. So I'm just kind of thinking through that now as a possibility. Just make sure you're on this because that would be the first place that I would tell people I'm doing it. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that idea because I've done some like all portfolio reviews on here, but that's kind of like looking at your whole body of work as like to put it on your website. So this would be a little bit different. I kind of like that, especially with the editing month coming up in November. Yeah. And that said too, I'm going to follow kind of the same timeline next year for the community center, which I usually have the free YouTube videos that go along with whatever I'm teaching in the membership. So if there's something that I have a gap of on this channel, like I realize lighting, I don't have enough lighting tutorials on here. What gaps do you see that you wish I had a video on? So I'm always looking for ideas. I keep so many ideas in my phone of different videos, but I want it to be something useful, actually useful for you. So I'm always looking for your input. I don't always see where the gaps are. Tina says, less than ideal situations I've been working under: color cast from the color of the walls, tiny shooting spaces, and one small speed light for lighting. Got it. Okay. And I think that is a huge thing that affects people that go to the shelters too. So often we're stuck in a little room in the back that was painted orange, or we just have this tiny little spot out back by the chain link fence. Like, what do you do with these situations? I love that idea. So actually, I'm going to write that here. Less than ideal situations, because that can be on the actual photo shoot and on how to edit if you can't get around some of that. Situations. Yes. Okay. Color cast. Small spaces. And I used to love that when I would walk in, because when I've been traveling, or like I spent a couple months in the Northwest a few years ago, and I just walked into the Humane Society there and said, "Hey, I'd love to help you." And I have no idea what I'm walking into. They could be I could be back in this room or that room or that room, and I don't know what I'm walking into. And I really love that challenge. So I've done this a lot. So I have some ideas already. And one speed light. I love that kind of challenge, and there's always ways around it. Less than ideal for me is tiny shooting spaces. Okay, got that. Shooting through a wide doorway from living room to kitchen where I have my backdrop and light set up. Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Shooting through a wide doorway from living room. Okay. Yeah, there's someone that I follow. The person I followed for the recipe on how to make this backdrop, if you've seen that video, I think I linked to her video in that, and she has a space that's kind of like that, where you've got your living room, dining room, kitchen all in one space. And she just kind of moves everything in her living room out of the way and sets up her backdrop. And then she backs up into kind of the kitchen dining room to take pictures. So it's a small-ish space, but it's still okay sized. And I think, let's see. Let me see if I can find, oh, I know where it is. Hold on. I've put her, I think, in one of my notes on Google Drive. I'll be right back. Let's see if I can search. Backdrop. Okay. Oh, man. How about if I put paint in here? Don't think I've deleted that, but let's see. DIY painted canvas backdrops. Here we go. And I believe it's this very first. Yeah. Nicole Carson Bonilla. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm coming back. Don't worry. Here I come. If you look up Nicole Carson Bonilla on YouTube, she's done a few on how to paint your own backdrop, but you can see her setting in her house. And so I think it's kind of fascinating. Yeah, this one's kind of long. It just shows all the painting. She sets it up in front of her piano and her TV. So her backdrop is in her living room. And I love that kind of behind the scenes. So that's a really good space to look too. I don't know if it'll work if you have that small of a space, but I can just imagine, like, just make it smaller. You don't need a 12-foot backdrop necessarily. She's doing a lot of dancers, that kind of thing. So let's see. Tiny spaces, got it. It's fascinating to see what other people are dealing with, right? Yeah, and that's kind of why I did the hacks video last week, because I had all kinds of little things that I had come across here that I really spent tons of time thinking about and figuring out how to do, like just how I'm storing all of my little rolls of backdrop paper. I ended up with a planter box of all things. You know how much time I spent thinking about how to do that? End up with a planter box. So there you go. You never know how you might fix some of these challenges. So I've taught a lot of classes on some of these particular topics. So this is awesome. I have so many ideas already. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, like if you're just dealing with one subject, a pretty small space can work. It's when you have to get a lot more people. I have one vet clinic office. I need to message them actually. They got a new doctor. And I have this PVC DIY setup that I made just for them, because whenever I go in for staff portraits for them, I have to be in this exam room, and it's really small. I think it's 7 feet wide and maybe 10 foot long, maybe. And we like to close the door because they bring their pets. So it's just big enough for me to put my bench. I don't know if you can see my bench right there. I had to make, because my backdrop stand wouldn't fit. I had to make this whole PVC thing and put it together when I'm there. And it's kind of sketch. And I have a little, cloth backdrop I put up, and I stick the bench in there. They have a bench now, but oh my gosh, so tiny. So I end up only using one light, like, one of these lights, that one. So I just have one light and a reflector because that's all the room I have. And then I have to peek through. And when we do bigger groups, I have to kind of walk out into the hall. But I've done groups in that room and just had them all squish around the bench. And I have to fill in the backdrop sides because there's like the phone on the wall and the sink. Yeah, but it's a good challenge. I kind of like it. So that's hard when there's a group of people. So you have people who think they can bring a dog with no training and they're out of control. Ooh, in seconds they're knocking lights over, ripping backdrops down. I have to train and shoot. Well, that's called leash. Put them on a leash. Okay, small spaces, not only working in them, active dogs. Yep. I've had that with shelter dogs a lot. Yeah. And then you just kind of put them on a leash, right? Unfortunately. Yeah, I know, because I try to always tell people, take your dog on a big walk. Take them on a big walk if they have a lot of energy. And I have people that come help me. So my trainer sometimes will help, and I have Frank. So having another hand there is so helpful. But when you're in a small space, where are they supposed to stand? Yeah. So that's a challenge too. I even thought, so here's one of my problems, is that my dog doesn't like the flash. I would love to show you how I set up lighting in someone's home and just use my house. But my dog hates the flash so much. So she's gotten a little bit better with it, but it's been a few months. So it's going to have to be desensitizing. She'll do anything for little special treats, cheese and whatnot. So if I can get her to be okay with treats and the flash, just like a speed light, kind of smaller, not as loud, not a big buzzing, then maybe I can film that at my house, because I have a north facing window. So you're never going to get direct light in that window, but it's nice to have it. But when you're just standing there, you think, oh, this is fine. This will work. It doesn't, because it's too dark. So I can show, actually, maybe I'll film it like that. Anyway, I've got some ideas now. Small space, extra people just do not work, right? Yeah. Where are your helpers? Active dogs, no room for helpers. And you have to figure you're doing all that, and you want the dog to be lowest stress and the best time ever, right? So I really don't like the shoots where you're seeing a dog with one of those things that's twists into the ground, one of those tie downs, and then they're on this leash and you're trying to do that, you're like making him like choke themselves on a leash trying to get to you with the treat. And I don't like that. I would rather have a person there making them feel better. I don't want them all stressed out on a tie down. Also, I'm in the Rockies, so there's too many rocks, but it just won't work for me. Lisa says, it would be helpful to see for end of life sessions. Good point. Good point. For sure. Okay, I have a couple ideas then. Because that's often in people's houses, isn't it? And I have taken this whole setup to people's houses. But just being able to use their area is nice. It's more homey. Yeah, great idea. Okay. All right, so I've got that note. Oh, this is good. So it sounds like a lot of kind of how to work in people's homes, how to light, how to work around all those different obstacles. So that's probably a couple different videos, to be honest with you, because lighting is different than, setting up the shot in their home. And I end up rearranging people's furniture all the time. And a lot of times I'll tell them ahead of time if I've had a chance to go over to their house first. If I do a planning meeting at their house, I'll say, okay, I'll look around. We're going to use the dining room. So let's move the table out of here. Let's move all the chairs. We've moved incomplete rooms of furniture out of the way for photo sessions, and they're fine with it. They're completely fine. I get nervous when it's expensive furniture or expensive floors. So I try to warn them ahead of time. Please have that out of the way, or let's carefully move this. So it's best to go there and see the space or have them take some pictures for you. And the number one thing people always think about is, well, there's no light in my house, or I don't have anything near my window. And I say, no, I'll bring lights. Don't worry about that. I want a good backdrop. Where's the nice background in your house? Also lighting for people and pets where their eyes are at different levels. Yeah, okay. Okay, that's all good. Yay! This is great. One thing that's been on my mind for a super long time is years and years ago, I made a cat photography 101 course, which is a free course over, I think I still have it up there on Pro Pet Photog because it's so old now. I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, I should have brushed my hair more, that kind of thing, whatever. It's good information, but I never did make a dog photography 101 course, kind of following the same format. So I've been really thinking about that. Again, my dog doesn't do well around strangers or other dogs or lights and all this kind of stuff. But now that Frank has a new dog, maybe once their dog is really settled in, we can use his dog. Ooh, that would be nice. And if Frank ever sees this, maybe. Let's see. Seeing people with glasses, not having a reflection on the glasses is what I prefer. Pets. Aw, yes, a reflection on glasses. And that's I dealt with that last week, actually. I had a high school senior come in and he had glasses, and we fiddled around quite a bit before I got the lights just right. And so I just turned on the modeling lights and took test shots until I got it exactly where I wanted. And sometimes it's just a matter of them kind of moving their glasses. And then I also took pictures of him without glasses that I can composite. So that's kind of the short answer. But yeah. Hey, Carolyn, just saw this notification. Hello. Well, you're here for the last 8 minutes. Good to see you. I hope it's cooling down where you are, Carolyn. So, Lisa, when you go to people's houses, like say for end of life, what lighting do you bring? Do you bring your studio lights or like a little strobe, or do you just try to be next to a window? How do you light in people's homes? And especially as we go into winter, because we just don't have as many hours of daylight, or in a lot of places, it's cloudy or darker even during the day. So you can't typically just use the ambient light. Even right now, today, it's a very cloudy day here in Colorado, surprisingly, and it looks nice and bright right now. But it doesn't mean that it would be great for photos. Oh, it is. It's 80s there. Okay. That is nice. That's really nice. Very good. Okay. Reflection on glasses. Okay. That's the whole thing. I'm starting to realize I need a whole series on lighting. That's good, though. That's good. That's a great thing to film for you in the wintertime. Because I do so much on location stuff. And actually, I take my light out on location too. So I do bring lights with me outside. I try to use natural light window. I use camera flash with a beauty dish. Okay. Yeah. Nice. So it's like a smaller footprint anyway. A lot of beauty dishes aren't super big. So doesn't seem as overwhelming to people, I bet. Yeah. Yeah. I know, because I did one once in someone's apartment, and it was evening, so there was no light, and that room didn't have really much light anyway. So it was all about setting up the lights in there. Yeah. A lighting series would be awesome. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, the problem is, like, I think I need to do a lighting video. And then once I really think about it, I need to do a lighting series. You're very right. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Right, Lisa? I'm almost done with my coffee. Let's see. It seems obtrusive for a moment with pets when they are ill. I think using a constant video light will be a step up. Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you wanted to bring the video light to clients' houses, the UL150 is bulky, just so you know. So it would be a light stand and the light and the battery pack. And it's a little much, but if that's the only light you're bringing, you can turn it down to low power, have a nice diffuser on it. It would be fine. I think end of life, they're not usually moving much either. But if you're going to have people in there, you want that depth of field. So a little LED panel may not cut it. But the UL150, well, I can just show you. Let me go grab it real fast. Okay. Hello, I'm back. So this is the light. And I didn't bring the power pack, but there's a box that's almost as big as the light that also hangs off of this. So this is how big the light is. It's LED, completely silent, but it's heavy. It's a few pounds. And then you have the other thing that hangs off of it. And then, your modifier. But it's really not a ton bigger than my other lights, than those ones. But it is a lot bigger than a speed light. Everyone's house should have room for that, though. I don't see that's a problem. I know. Rocketbook, you know it. This is a new Rocketbook for me, so I only have one sticker on it, but I have a whole lot ready to go. Let's see. It is a bigger light. Yeah. So for your commercial stuff, it'd be fine. And if you don't have a really, excuse me, obtrusive modifier, it should be fine. So if you put your beauty dish on there and it's already this big, people are only going to see the modifier. So when you take that in people's homes, they're going to say, oh, what a big light. And what they mean is the modifier. It's nice that it's completely quiet. So there's no refresh, there's no beep, there's no flash, and it plugs in, so you don't have to worry about the battery dying. So it is a lot. Yeah, you find that constant lights are great for very shy animals as well. That's true. Yeah. Let's see, I have a minute left. Let me grab the plug-in for it. I think it's in this bag. Okay. Here we go. These are just the bags for my other lights. I don't think we got this out. Yeah, we got this out while you were here, Lisa. So this is the contraption. So this hangs up on the this way. This hangs on your light stand, right? And you have the, where are we? Here. This is just, you can control it 1% at a time. And then this is the power bank that you plug in. So you have this stuff hanging off of there too. Yeah. So, there's all of that, but it's okay. I only have lights with cords, Alien Bee strobes, and Einstein. Dealing with those tight spaces, cords, unruly dogs, I might need a glass of wine to get through it. Yeah, so there is the cords, which is one of the reasons I like the UL150 is completely battery powered. What would be cool is if it was battery powered and the modeling light was bright enough, but it's not. She remembers now, right before I was camera shy. Yes, because that's my video light, right? And so I always pull this out, put a nice big softbox on it. And I mean, if you start doing little interview spots for clients, this is going to come in so handy. Yeah, I just really like that light. And of course, I'm always pushing people to do more video. Every business says, oh, I need video, but they don't do it. And so if you can just add that, like mostly you're doing photography, but you can also say, hey, by the way, If you've been thinking about doing video content at all, I can help you. And you can start off with doing no audio, So anyway, that's a thought. I bet your new camera does good video. All right, everybody, we have to wrap it up now. It's been great to see you all. I can't believe the hour has passed already. It's been fantastic to see everyone. If you're a replay viewer, thank you so much for hanging in there the whole hour as well. Here's just a couple of things to remember once again. ProPetPhotog.com has the free courses and freebies, and it has paid resources of all kinds. There's templates for Canva and checklists, all kinds of things, and other courses and the membership, and you can book one-to-ones with me there. Come on down and join us in the free Facebook group. Answer all the questions, though, or else I won't approve you. And the page. Join the newsletter for sure, because that's where I'm going to tell you things first. Instagram and the podcast. And if you want to get a hold of me, there's that. It was good to see you for 8 minutes. You're welcome. Let's see. Oh, all the commercial clients have been talking about video. Literal light bulb. Income loss when not offering vids. Exactly. And a 3-minute video, is average about 3,500 is what I charge. 3,200, 3,500 for a 3-minute video. Just to throw that out there. It's a day of shooting and a day of editing, of course. It's a lot of work, but still. Tina says, you're welcome. Good to see you for 8 minutes. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. We're going to go out like we always do, right? What do we always say? As always, I wish you many whoops, purrs, and TREATSs. We'll see you next time, and have a super weekend.